The Chicago Bulls continue to fail backwards. It doesn't make any sense. After the draft lottery night, in which the Chicago Bulls will stay at number 11, which isn't necessarily bad, it's proving yet again how the Chicago Bulls fear to be bad, to eventually get better, continues to bite them in their ass. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. Listen, I know Steve-O was live during the draft lottery. Shout out to Steve-O for holding it down. And here's what I want to say, and this is the reason why I'm frustrated. Am I frustrated that the Bulls are still picking at number 11? No, that's what I expected going into this. But one of the things that continues to be proven every single year by the Chicago Bulls team is their desire, their fight, their drive to stay competitive, when in reality, they aren't really staying competitive with anything, continues to bite them in their ass. The Chicago Bulls, and the reason why I say that for anybody who does not know, is that the Chicago Bulls would have had the number one overall pick in this year's draft. Number one overall, they would have had in this draft had they just been bad. The fact that the Chicago Bulls fought to stay at number 9 ended up causing them to miss out on the number one overall pick. And the reason why I say that, the Atlanta Hawks, who finished one spot below the Chicago Bulls, the Atlanta Hawks, who actually beat the Chicago Bulls in their last matchup to close that gap to a half a game, the Chicago Bulls, in their fight for competitiveness, made them miss out on the number one overall pick in this draft. That's where we keep sitting with this team. It's not that I want this team to be bad, but it's the fact that you keep artificially inflating the record of this team to the point where now, this is the second year that this happened. Keep in mind, Steve-O, the Bulls would have had the number one overall pick the year we picked Kobe White had we not fought down the stretch to win games at the end of that season as well. This is what alters your franchise. This is what puts your franchise behind the ball when you just struggle and hold on to any glimpse and symbolism of competitiveness when you're not really competitive for shit. But go ahead, Steve-O.
Bro, literally, as I pressed to end the live, I was like, that's our pick. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What? I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna throw salt in the wound because that's what I said we should have lost out, but I'm not even gonna throw salt in the wound. It's just you keep getting in your way. You keep getting in your own way. You the reason why your team can't get right. You the reason why nothing generationally can change in this thing, because you're just stupid all the way around. You don't pay attention to everything around you. You don't pay attention to the odds of certain things. Like, as a GM, that's certain things you gotta pay attention to. Like, I hate to keep bringing up the Bears, but the Bears realize, like, hey, we ain't no point of us winning right now. We need some picks. We need to do that. The year we got all them picks for Carolina, we realized we needed to be trash the rest of those games. We realized we could have won those games. Yeah, but it was no need to. It wasn't no need to. And then now we come to today, they weren't even thought of to be the number one pick. And just because they decided we just gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Now they got a alternate decision where they can either trade and get the point guard or whatever they want in the thing, or keep trading and build off what they got right now. Now they could possibly be in a way better position than what they ended with this year. It's just, well, y'all go get out y'all own way, bro. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Like, this front office right now is in a position where they keep failing backwards. You can't even suck right. That's a bit of a pause. Didn't mean it that way. But you can't even be bad in the correct way, right? Like, for example, you remember last year when the Dallas Mavericks, and we played them in the last game, and they purposely lost that game because it made them be able to keep their pick? right?
Mm-hmm.
The Bulls in the exact same scenario would say, no, we got to win this game. You know why we got to win this game? Because we got to be competitive. And this isn't even about blowing it all up, right? In this scenario, keep in mind, you don't blow it all up. Had the Bulls, and I get it, it's all revisionist, it's all hindsight. But had the Bulls just sucked at the end of that season, lost the last 3 games, you don't have to completely rebuild your team. Alexander Sarr slides right in there as your starting center and pairs well with not only Kobe, not only Ayo, also with Julian Phillips. That's not rebuilding your team. You are literally building off the backs of what you've already done. And this front office is too stupid to realize that.
Oh my God. Bro, you just put the nail right on it. For a team that just wants to keep this team together for so badly, this was your ticket. This was literally your ticket. You could have kept. Hell, we wouldn't even been mad if you brought on DeMar.
At that point, you get in Alexander Sarr, your number 1 overall. You say, all right, bet he's gonna start coming off the bench. He probably takes over the starting role by the end of the season from Nikola Vucevic.
Yep.
You then give Patrick Williams your deal. You can even keep DeMar to be a mentor there. Yep. You trade Zach LaVine. You get your pieces. Nothing about your offseason changes except you're getting in a better talent in this draft.
And it helps out. You can really be extremely into the free agency because now you can make some moves for real. You can move, like you said, you can move Zach. That's gonna free up some cap. That way, and then you bring in Sarr along with the team that we already got. Now it's a place where it's not completely garbage or where I'm going. There's still some type of promise here. Kobe is getting better. Ayo is getting better. Now we got the number 1 pick coming in. It shows you somewhere people will potentially want to go to. Now you still making it harder for yourself. Now y'all idiots, bro. Y'all just stupid, bro. It don't make no sense. Like, and this is why I desperately wanted us to lose out. I'm Eric. You ain't a real Bulls fan. No, I realized the situation. I realized we could possibly get a decent pick if we lose out. No. Competitive. This is what happens when you want to be competitive at the wrong time.
This is what happens when you fall in love with the roster that just ain't it. And that's the biggest problem in this. I get it. We have a lot of good guys on this team. And I've said it before. Even Zach, I like all the people as men on this roster. I like them all, right? They're cool. They're good individuals. But you can't allow that to make you think that you're further along because you got a team full of some good guys. Like, it's bad. So E Holiday asked, "We'll pick we stayed at number 11." But the thing in this is that had the Bulls lost to the Atlanta Hawks in the play-in, we would have had the Hawks pick. We would have had the number one overall pick in this draft. It's just Wootage. But this is the thing, bro. This isn't even about, like, I think we're adding in a lot of different layers. This has nothing to do with retooling the roster. Nothing to do with retooling the roster. You could have kept the same roster. We're just literally talking about this team falling in love with minor success and it really just setting them back in the long run.
Y'all fell in love with us being the number 1 seed for 4 months.
Yeah.
That's what you fell in love with. And don't get me wrong. I get it. When you put something in your time and effort, what you got penalized for as well. We got money taken away because of we got caught. Apparently, I forget what the word is, but we got caught. Even though we was trying to trade for Zoe in the season prior, I don't see how. Yeah, I don't see how the hell that's tampering anyway. But I get it. Like, you put this team together, you completely scratch what we had here as once, and then what you did was working. So I get why he has so many beliefs, but somebody got to be on. You got to have that devil angel on your shoulder, like, dog. Like, it might be time to move away from this idea that you had, or try to fix it up. No, you just stayed path on it. You stayed on it. It was like, no, this is gonna be team. We gonna figure out. I believe we gonna figure out what the chemistry and it was shit. It was straight shit.
Yeah. And this is where we sit, man. It's
harder for you. You really just making it harder for you.
And that's go ahead. And that's where I hope that this wakes up the Chicago Bulls to the situation with next year's draft and where they can learn from this at. I know I'm complaining, things like that, but to be a little bit more constructive. The thing that the Bulls need to learn from this is that stop holding on to this roster so tightly. You got to be open to let DeMar DeRozan walk, because guess what? Next year's draft is even deeper. Your pick is top 10 protected to the San Antonio Spurs. So if you wind up in a situation to where you have a bottom 10 record, guess what? Yeah, it sucks, and Bulls fans are going to complain. People are going to call for your job. But if you're sitting here telling me, and anybody, I'm going to throw this to anybody who's in this chat. If you tell me that keeping DeMar because of how good DeMar's been here, if you tell me keeping Zach LaVine is worth missing out on the chance at Cooper Flag, I got to ask you, what was your score on your IQ test?
Yeah, what was your SAT score?
Because nothing. If you're telling me that holding on to DeMar DeRozan for 3 years so we can stay in the play-in for the next 3 years is worth passing up a chance at at Cooper Flag, you're stupid. I'm sorry.
And you're not stupid. Even that. You got Isaiah Evans. You got bro. That draft class is heavy. It's very heavy compared to this one. So fuck up if you want to. That's all I'm gonna say. Fuck up if you want to. If you're telling me 30 goddamn what's they say clutch games at the end of games is what you want versus a person that completely changed your whole organization or possibly more. You could even do more with it with moving away from this. But if you're gonna sit here and tell me because this motherfucker can hit some important shots that we probably not even gonna win the game, but some important shots down the end, I'm not trying to hear that. I don't care.
I'm just going to go over this. The top 5 picks in the 2025 draft, right? We're just going to go over their comps. You have Cooper Flag in there, who's compared to Scottie Pippen. You got Dylan Harper, James Harden, Ace Bailey, compared to T-Mac. VJ Edgecombre, is that how you pronounce his name?
Edgecombre, yep.
D Wade is his comp. If you mean to tell me that you want to win some clutch games to keep DeMar DeRozan and pass up on the potential of that, you're smoking dick.
For real.
That's it.
And to Brazil's point, your Caruso might have to go too.
Maybe. And listen, Caruso, at least a first round pick, if not 2 protected first. So
right. It's time.
It's time.
Today confirmed it. It's time. You just sat AK sitting right here right now and his fucking stomach hurt. I promise you his stomach hurt. He just sat there like, damn, I really could have just fixed everything by making one decision, losing the last 3 games. One decision had to be made for a whole thing of your offseason to be changed.
Exactly. Listen, JK summed it up perfectly. And this may be the title of tomorrow's video. The 2025 draft and your 2024 offseason comes down to this. Do you want the chance at a generational talent or do you want the chance at DeMar DeRozan? And if you're telling me that the chance of a generational, and you may not get it, but the chance of that is worth keeping DeMar DeRozan,
go watch pickleball.
You got to stop. You got to stop. Like,
go watch fucking pickleball if you think some shit crazy. Like that. I don't care that I get it, but like I'm gonna keep saying it for the longest. This 2007 ass offense ain't winning us no championship.
Yeah,
it's not. Let him go do what he can do. Go send his ass home. Do what you got to do. But you cannot. Yeah. You cannot bring these big cons. You cannot bring Zach. You cannot bring Debo. You cannot bring them back.
And here's where I got to correct you in this. You're actually wrong. The playing record does change the pick.
Oh, it does.
If you make it further in the play-in, it changes where you pick at. Now, if you make it in the playoffs, it drastically changes. Then you're not even in the lottery. But we're not even talking about just the play-in game. We also said your last 3 games of your season. I'm just saying, bro. It's and like I always say, it's a series of things that keep just leading this to where we are right now. So
there's so many, like, just looking back on this past season, there were so many avenues to make a change in this team. You could have traded Zach earlier. You possibly could have traded Debo earlier. You didn't have to pick up Vooch's contract. There's a ton of things you could have did, and then you could have just lost. That I just gave you 4 major things you could have did to completely turn this team around, and you ain't got one of them. You got to sit here and look through the scraps of free agency because ain't nobody gonna want to come here, and we don't really have the money until we start trading everybody to give it to anybody. So okay, AK, you put yourself in the pickle. Do your magic.
Yep.
We don't know how you're gonna do it, but do it.
Oh man, hey, that's where we are, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what this does, and if anything, for the offseason. I already see somebody like the Shy say they have to do, they can't walk away. We're not doing anything. You just can't. We're too close to the luxury tax. Something's gonna have to give, and we know Jerry isn't paying the luxury tax. So guess what? They have to do something. Now, it could become via something small, like wave and stretch and Lonzo, keep everything else the same. That could be an option there as well, but something has to change. So, oh yeah, I did say I wanted to go over that. So Tyrese Halliburton was the number 11 overall pick. Yes, and I did want to go over. So this is the history of the last 11 overall picks dating all the way back to 2015. So basically the last 10 drafts. So we got Jet Howard last year with the Magic. We really don't know much there yet. That was also our pick, but you know, it is what it is there. Ousmane Dang from the Thunder, James Bouknight, bad. But then you get into Devin Vassell, Cam Johnson, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Malik Monk, Domantas Sabonis, and Miles Turner.
Cold.
Klay Thompson, an 11th overall pick. So there are times where you can get a really damn good talent in an 11th overall pick. And like we just went over, more times than not, the 11th overall pick ends up pretty damn good. But this is also the Chicago Bulls that we're talking about.
But that's what I said on my live. We could get a good, solid player at 11. It just, we like to pick projects.
Yeah.
So, like, it's about who you pick at that 11th pick because we can get somebody decent. It's about who you decide to go get.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we'll
King
see.
Holla, I'm not trading for no damn 35-year-old, no Jimmy damn Butler. I'm sorry, I had to say that. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, not at this point. Not at this point. We're talking about it'd be different. We're talking about like 28, 29-year-old Jimmy Butler. But hey, we almost had that player, and we said we don't know how to build around you, so get the fuck up out of here. So there you go on that one too. So,
bro, that's so pitiful. That's so weird. We don't know how to build a team around you, so we gonna trade you. Yeah. What?
All right, man. Any last thoughts, Steve, before we get up out of here, bro?
Piss us off on Mother's Day. I was having a good ass day. Like I said, the sun is shining. I was thinking about going to the lake. Now I'm about to go to the lake to calm down. Yeah. I wasn't even finna go there to calm down. I gotta go calm down because y'all done got on my damn nerves. Yeah. Let some fucking hoe get the first pick.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see. Any last thoughts, brother? That's it.
Bulls, y'all should listen to me more. I've yet to be wrong.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, you guys can follow us at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail, number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, and we out this mug. Peace, y'all.